I'm gonna start by wearing this absolute badass bitch glasses that I really wish were mine, but I just found them on the street. But they look so freaking good. Like, I wish it's not even adapted to my view, so I can't see anything. It's so old, but now I need to find a pair like this, because how good does it look? And I think it'll do it for a thumbnail, like something nice, casual, sexy. Never mind. Now I gotta switch back to my regular ones because I cannot see shit otherwise. Well, first of all, hi everybody. I suppose I took like a little week off because I was exhausted. It's January. I didn't have any holidays. Look how unfair life is. I just pretended that I had holidays by stopping any kind of like socialization. I just don't want to see people. I just want to stay home all day, every day. I don't know how people get out in the winter and how they work on top of it. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about toxic French work culture in France, because that's where I live and I work. Because I see so many, especially Americans, I'd say, on TikTok and on YouTube who move to France. I'd say for obvious reasons. We all know that work culture is completely fucked up in States. Like, how come you guys are not even protected by law? What do you mean you can lose your job? And they would tell you on the same day, like, how are you supposed to budget your life? What if you have kids? What if you need social security? Never mind. But coming from my experience, I absolutely fucking hate work life in France. This one precise trait that I hate, that I cannot figure and understand, and I think it's just like an overall French mindset thing. But people here expect you to be friends with them when you go to work. You're expected to socialize on a very high level, meaning like during work, you're really supposed to be actively talking to your colleagues, a lot of small talk, but even more than that, I would say, I don't want to generalize, but in my experiences, bitch, I have a lot. French people are so intrusive, like they really want to know your whole life. And you know what I mean? Like, if we get to spend some time together and we know each other better, and like naturally some things come up, like, oh, like, are you dating? Like, you have kids? What are your hobbies? That is fine. But I don't want to answer those questions on the first days and maybe in the first weeks at work, because we don't even know each other yet. And quite frankly, I'm just coming here for money, to be able to pay my bills. So you cannot force friendships. If they happen naturally, more than welcome. It happened to me so many times, and I still have like 3 maybe or 2 good friends that I met at work, and I'm so thankful for them. Like, we went through so much together and we still are in each other's lives. So yeah, that's also a way to meet people, but that's not what I'm going there for. And obviously my example is different because I am not interested in corporate life overall. The only thing I want is to be able to pay my bills and like cover all the expenses and everything. And if you're coming to France with the intent of like, okay, this is where I want to settle, and I'm also very pro corporate life and like I want to succeed in corporate world, then that might be different for you. But absolutely expect socializing on a very high level. So I talked about like socializing at work, but them bitches also expect you to socialize after work. Like, afterworks, that's a big thing. Mostly at startups, way less at like bigger corporate jobs. Still, potentially, sometimes. Traumatizing. Absolutely traumatizing. Like, when I tell you traumatizing, it happened to me to be fired from some jobs on the pretext of just like not fully like integrating into the company, even though it's not like entirely legal, like for as long as you respect your contract, and your contract is not saying that, bitch, you're supposed to be socializing with people, like going out for drinks. Your contract says like you're supposed to do A, B, C, and if you do them the right way, you good. But yeah, that the reality is very far. So I'd say my video mostly addresses to people who are either like coming to France and they want to discover more, understand more the French mentality, or maybe even they just considering coming to France and they like, oh, is it a good place for me to be, or maybe not the best. And also to people who went through the same shit as me and they're just pure haters like I am right now. And I'm also talking about it right now because, first of all, I'm looking for a job, so obviously I'm going through like a lot of interviews. Should I remind you how bad the job market is at the moment? We cannot talk about 2024 no more because, you know, kind of gone. But 2024 was such a freaking challenging year, and once again I saw a lot of Americans complaining. It was just as bad in Europe. It was incredibly hard in France. I never saw a job market this hard and this freaking complicated. Like, even somebody as me, I have a ton of experience and a ton of like hard skills versus soft skills. Bitch, I just couldn't fucking get a job. Or like, they would offer me jobs with incredibly low salaries. French salaries are already not high, so I'm not going lower. Okay, you know what? Let me do point by point, because otherwise I'm going to get completely lost in my thoughts. First thing I want to talk about, why am I saying that it's a toxic work culture? As I said, they expect you to socialize a lot. That's a big part of it. If the only thing that you have on your mind is like, oh, I need a job because I want to cover my bills, probably want to keep myself busy and like my mind working. And for some people, like if you're an immigrant, I need a job for my papers. It is going to be very hard and challenging for you to fully integrate the company, especially if we're talking about smaller companies or like startup companies, because they will ask of you to spend time with them, especially after work. And this week I had an interview. First of all, the interview was fucking 2 hours. Like, this is excessive. I did not apply to be like a high like department manager or like head of, no. It's just like a regular position. It was, I think the title was like customer care versus like a little bit of logistics, because they sell items. So basically you need to be able to track some of the shipments and maybe sometimes call the logistic team and like, hey, like guys, like could we schedule together a delivery, yada, yada, yada. So excuse me, but for this type of job, why the hell are you expecting me to have a 2-hour interview? This guy, the interviewer, I should say, I should give him credit. He's a good interviewer. Like, he asked me a lot of right questions to just, I suppose, read me and see what type of person I am, how I would react in maybe like stressful situations. So that is fine. That is fine, and that is a good thing. However, he asked, like, they were looking for the best person possible. Like, you literally need to check all the things that they have on your mind to be able to get the job. And that is excessive. That is absolutely excessive. So how hard the job market was in 2024, bitch, I feel like it's gonna be just as hard in 2025, or maybe hard, but in a different way. Because why am I wasting fucking 2 hours of my life on what was it, Monday, Tuesday? On a fucking random Monday? And I was working the whole day before. Like, I would just rather go to bed. So, not okay. First point. Second point. Why am I hesitating about this job? Like, I told you, the job was overall fine. I'd say the salary was fine. The like daily tasks are also okay. Everybody on the team seemed fine too. Like, this interviewer who's like head of operations. I also met like three other people from the team. Everybody looked okay. I'm like, which is already an important point. At least you know that people are fine, respectful, and collaborative, so they could potentially help you deal with some things. But all of them, all the 4 people that I met, made it very clear that they expect me to be really invested in the company's life after work. What does it mean? Like, honestly, I'm completely fine with hanging out with my colleagues occasionally. As I said, like, if we really do become friends, girl, that's amazing. I would always welcome you into my life, and like, we could hang out. First of all, that's not a guarantee. Like, you can never know, you can never expect it. Like, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, I cannot force myself. And I'm very particular with my friends. I don't want to be friends with the whole world. It used to be different for me. I feel like when I was really young, or even just a little younger, I wanted to be friends with the whole world. I wanted to learn so much about people. Now I know a lot about myself, so I don't need as many friends. Acquaintances maybe. Friends, no. It's about privacy in 2025. So yeah. And the tricky thing is, when you are applying for a position and they tell you something like this, what it really means, like how it translates, is we expect you to work for free after work. Because what would they possibly talk about after work? They're gonna talk about work. Even if they go out for a drink, like let's say a red wine, they're gonna be talking about work more and more. just like in a more like fun and friendly way. Even I feel like it could even affect the management style, because they'd be like, oh, you know, like we're friends, like come on, like could you do it like for me? Bitch, no. that is not a thing. Why would I be doing something for you just because we're friends? If I'm being paid for it, good. If I'm not, So I'm really hesitating about this company. Like, it just sucks because I've been looking for a job for such a long time now. Honestly, very actively, like even more than a year already. I mean, I had jobs in between, like, but like a full-time position, permanent contract, that's been really challenging. So on one side, I'm like, it's stupid of me to say no. But on the other side, if they expect me to like work from 9 to, I don't know, a certain amount of time, and then also after that, past that time, not like go home to see my family, see my friends, do my yoga that I love doing, or just be with myself, like manage my time. They want me to spend additional times with them. First of all, I don't even drink enough. Like I drink like a couple times a year. Like I'm not gonna be paying €5 for like sparkling water. So I don't know. Maybe you have an advice on that one. I would very much like to know, because I don't really know what to do. Well, they still haven't answered me, so I don't know if that's a yes or no, but doesn't seem like a good thing. What else about French culture that I don't like? Oh, same job, same company, same interview. That's a little hack for French companies to make you work more without paying you additionally in a very legal way. There's a precise type of contract that's called CDI. It's basically permanent contract. But it has like different levels of employees. So this one is called cadre. So it's like, I think it's the highest level. So how it translates, usually like you have a better salary, and I think you put like more money aside for when you're retired or something like this. Honestly, it's fucking bullshit. Like, it's not, like, you shouldn't like aim for it. If it happens, okay, but don't look for one. The tricky part with this contract is very often on your contract, they're not gonna write down the amount of hours you work per week. And that's what the guy explained to me, because I asked him like, okay, like what is the regular amount of hours? Because usually in France, I think it's like either 35, 37 or 40. That's pretty much it. It's very, very like, I think officially though, that's it. Maybe like some people still very much illegally overwork, but that's how much you're supposed to work. So I was expecting 35 or 39. This guy goes, oh yeah, so that's the level cadre, which means that basically we don't count our hours. Like, you would be paid the same amount if you worked from 9 to 5 versus 9 to 7:30 every day. Excuse me? Do I look stupid? Why the heck would I be working more? And I did explain to him, because obviously I was like, I still need the job. I said, hey, I understand there could be peak times during the year. Let's say Christmas, maybe you get more orders, or maybe for you it's August or whatever. And I understand that maybe on some days I would finish at 6:30 instead of 5, like I would ideally like had I started at 9 a.m. But that's more of an exception on my side. I don't want to be doing this every day of my life, because why? Like, I didn't say that, but why? Like, I'm not stupid to be paid the same amount of money for working more. For me, like, if I work additionally, you pay me for this, you reward this, but this type of contract doesn't allow you. How the fuck is that okay? Like, how are we different from Americans at this point? I don't see. And I remember I had a friend, I kind of still have, we just don't really talk that much. Oh my god, he was struggling so much. He was also an immigrant. He thankfully got his French citizenship, God bless. And he knew that he freaking needed to get himself a permanent contract, and that's the one that he got, the level cadre. And he struggled so much because they made him work from like 9 a.m. to at least 7:30, 8 p.m. every single day of his life. And he was so tired and he was so exhausted, and it takes a lot of time for your citizenship application to be processed. So he had to work like this for at least like a year and a half. Like, imagine how exhausting, and his salary was quite low. So that's my next point, actually. The salaries in France. So I do know that a lot of people bring the very important point of like, oh, but like you have social security, this is like so amazing, you have good life, like the medical insurance, blah blah blah. First of all, that is not for free. You're paying for your social security with your taxes. It was never meant to be for free. So yes, maybe it's still a modest amount of money compared to states. Well, but we're not even trying to compare to states. I don't want to compare like to worse things. I'd rather compare to something better. So yes, we do get social security for people who need it, but for people who like have health issues or even just sometimes occasionally sick. That's amazing. But you pay for it. That was never for free. And then yeah, we do have public transport, we do have education. It's still not entirely for free, but a lot of education is mostly for free. You just like paying some fees a year. However, let's go back to the subject of salaries, because sweetheart, I am not working for 30K a year, and these are some of the salaries that I was offered in 2024. And like, excuse me, I went to college. I have master's degree. I have a lot of experience. Like, you cannot even physically survive in Paris for 30K a year, unless maybe if you share in an apartment, like if you only rent in a room, or even better if you live with your parents. That is not my case. I'm here all by myself, and honestly, I'm not sharing my apartment, and I'm being roommates with anyone no more. I'm just like out of this. I feel like those are the things that are really good and healthy for you when you're young. Later in life, I personally don't fucking want anybody in my space like that all the time. So it's either you're alone because you're like single, or you have a partner and then you live together. Even with my closest friends, I don't want to do that. How are you supposed to survive with those salaries? How are you supposed to do that? Okay, I'd say like the average French salary, Parisian salary is like 35 to 38K. Once again, only for people who went to college and who have a lot of experience. This is not livable. Oh my god, well, it's social security. Fuck social security. This is not livable. Like, none of my friends, and all of my friends have amazing, beautiful professional experience. None of them are able to put money aside at the end of the month, or even like to invest or save or whatever. I have a friend who's an editor, and she's been in editing for, I'd say, at least 12 years. And I don't know. She's like 33 maybe? Yeah, she's gonna be 33. So she's been in it for a while, and she studied so much and so hard for it, and she makes, if I'm not lying, maybe like 41, 42K. That is nearly nowhere enough, and she's in love with her job, so she is still satisfied with it. But girl, I am not struggling that much from 9 a.m. to like 7 p.m, 7:30 every day for breadcrumbs. Hell no, nah. And yeah, I'm just exhausted. I'm just completely exhausted with French people. This video is supposed to be like half educational, half just like me complaining about things. Cause I wish I freaking knew about them earlier. Like, I don't know, maybe I would have left. Maybe I would have gone to live somewhere else. But then corporate culture is also pretty toxic everywhere. Those are just like the specific French ways that I really hate about corporate world. Because yeah, we are protected by law, but it still doesn't mean that everything is perfect. And those are the things you should absolutely consider if you're like thinking, oh, should I go to France? Maybe it's like my dream country or something. In terms of corporate, it is not for me. Honestly, I would very much rather go like the American way, where people are not, they are friendly, but they're not friends. They like don't care about each other. Oh, also one toxic thing is that they always freaking eat together. Most French people at work, they love to eat together, go like have big lunches all the time. And if you get really long with your team, that's amazing. But very often, honestly, I just want to like quickly eat and like go for a walk, or maybe like I need to buy something outside. So I also struggle with that a lot. That's how I was fired from one of my last jobs. I was supposed to get like a permanent contract, and they only kept me for 3 weeks. They had absolutely no management, and every single day they would be eating together, like, what are we having for lunch? What are we having for lunch? I don't know, guys. I brought my own food. I'm saving on money. I'd rather go out and eat on the weekends, because that kind of makes more sense. I think I'm gonna stop here, because I don't want to make it too long. And obviously, if any of you are moving to France, considering anything like that, you just let me know. I could explore more some of the topics, but it's just, it's just been really like sitting in me, because it's hard, because not everybody can understand. Like, when I talk about those things to French people, they don't get it, because like that's their reality, and I suppose they like it. So maybe you would understand more. And then yeah, if you have any questions about like moving to France or like working in France, just let me know. I'd like to answer. Bye. Have a nice weekend, because it's what is Friday, Saturday, I don't know. Have a nice weekend. Don't overindulge. Do some yoga and get a good night's sleep. You're gonna thank me for that.